On this day, 7 years ago, the course of England was changed forever. It is said that the heathens were merciful on this day. That was mistold. The heathens are ruthless and have always been savages. The Jarls Guthrum and Ubba, both despicable savages, brought death and destruction with 10,000 savages to the city of Etherwich. Their numbers were overwhelming and they knew it. They could not be stopped. The three kings of Northumbria would all unite to meet this Viking host. But it would not be enough. The Saxon army would quickly be surrounded and cut down like dogs along with their three kings. The large number of the Viking host was too much. There would be no prisoners, no surrender for those men. Each would die at some point that day. And for many, sooner rather than later would be favorable. The ones who did survive would be tortured until death. Thus sparking the beginning of a decade-long invasion of all Saxon kingdoms in England. Now, 7 years later, I find myself surrounded on all sides by Danes in the last remaining kingdom, Wessex. Wessex is strong and fertile, as well as the richest kingdom in all of Britain, but with so much pressure from the Danes. Myself and many other Saxons will have to fight to keep our peace and to keep the hope of an England that may emerge. This becomes harder with the death of my late brother at the Battle of Reading, where he was slain. Now I am to fill his role and become the king that is needed. Myself and all of Wessex is in dire need of help, and there may be one man who can save this kingdom. Uhtred of Bebbanburg.
Uhtred of Bebbanburg, the Saxon raised as a Dane. That's what we're going to be playing today in the CK3 and Total War series. Starting out, our good friend Uhtred is a mercenary camped out in the earldom of Hampshire, the capital of Wessex. And this is the point where Wessex is in a particularly hard spot. You can tell from the intro, we do have King Alfred. Very smart, has a lot of good stats. But he is surrounded by Danes, Jarl Guthrum and Jarl Ubba. Jarl Guthrum has a claim on the Kingdom of Wessex, as well as a claim on Mercia. But Jarl Ubba is stronger. He has control of Mercia and Northumbria. To the north of them is Dunholm, which was taken from Jarl Ragnar, and then Bebbanburg, which is Uhtred's ancestral home. Our goal, we could go any way in this series, but Uhtred's main goal is to take back Bebbanburg. That will always be his main goal. So, if we want, we could try to help Alfred defend Wessex, because he is in a weak point. Or we could join the Danes and take land for ourselves in Wessex. That's going to be our roleplay. We're going to take these situations slow, and just like the intro, I'm going to have lots of fight scenes, lots of roleplay scenarios with different characters. And with that, I would like your guys' help on what decisions to make. Should we join Alfred? Should we help him create an England? That would be how The Last Kingdom goes. If we follow the show's narrative, we could completely rewrite history. There's so many possibilities we could take. And I plan on taking it slow and really building up this story. The main goal for me is just to tell a story with this series. So make sure you give me suggestions down in the comments. But first, we have to start off and choose our lifestyle. Uhtred's stats. There, let's take a look at these. Not very good at diplomacy at the very start. If you watch the series, you would know he gets himself into trouble all the time, but he's obviously a very good marshal and an incredible fighter. He's a warlord. So I think that's kind of the way we're going to go with our marshal. So we have that selected. And then also, our camp purpose is going to be swords for hire. We need coin to raise more troops and eventually be able to help in these larger major scale battles. Our first contract of the series is going to be an ambush travelers. Lord Mureg of Gwent is looking for trustworthy swords for hire, and this is what we're looking for, I believe, up the start. We want max gold, and then if we have to break a few rules along the way, that's what Uhtred does. So we're going to take this contract.
Murig must be a truly careless lord. Imagine putting out a notice begging for help like that and not expecting to attract more trouble. His loss, our gain. My band and I have already begun scouting out the busiest backroads to begin laying ambushes. It seems the most natural road to harass is the Jowant Middle Seeks Road. We'll rob these merchants and travelers blind and flee into the night as quickly as we came. I can practically smell the coin.
And it begins. We're moving out to Gwent. Seems our horses are ready to die. Okay, we just kind of spread our horses out a little bit.
Uhtred of Mercia, the prior king before the Danes stole his crown. How sad he is now in this state. We shall charge these fools.
And that concludes our first contract for Uhtred. We ended with an extra, I think, 150 gold from that mercenary trip, so very useful, but just a start for Uhtred. This series is gonna have many twists, lots of role-playing action. I mean, this was just to get us started for this episode. So make sure you come back, give some suggestions. Let me know which way you want Uhtred to take this story. Are we gonna help Alfred? Are we gonna join the Danes? Are we gonna look for more land? Or are we gonna try to take over just Bebenberg? Let me know in the comments. Where should we take this? Besides that, quick few things about the setup. First of all, big thank you to the Crusader Wars devs for the mod and just the idea of making this. That's going to be the main mod that I'm using for this series. I'm going to link it down below. Make sure you check out their Patreon, their Discord, and definitely check out the mod because it's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome what those guys have done over there. Besides that, I've also custom made this save from a different mod. The original older Last Kingdom mod is about 2 years old, but I'll link it anyway just so you guys can maybe check that guy out. He had a lot of the models for the Jarls, Uhtred, Alfred, and I basically copied over his models and then kind of tweaked them a little bit to make this save work. So I'm gonna link this save down below as well if you guys would like to play this save for any reason. Also, I have a few other mods that I'm playing with that I'll link in there below. There's just a few small tweaks for Total War Attila and also CK3. Besides that, thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you leave a comment on which way we should take this series, and anything I can improve, let me know. So thank you.